No bowl game for UCLA in 2024. How about 2025? Let's see what that projection is going to look like. First, though, let's actually look back the last 4 seasons. So for UCLA, you see with our projected record formula, in 2021 it was 7-5. They went 8-4. In 22 it was 8-4. They went 9-3. In 23 it was 8-4 again. They went 7-5. And then last year it was 6-6. They went 5-7. So you notice 21 and 22 they were beating the projection. Did it by 1 game. And then the last 2 years, they were under the projection by 1 game. So what will that mean for 25? We shall see. But again, here's the schedule, and this is the scale that we use. If it's a 50-50 game, that means it's really a game that could go either way. And so this is all based off of our tier rankings. So UCLA is a tier 4 team. That means if they play another tier 4 team, it's going to be in that 40 to 60% range. It's basically a 50-50 game. If they play a team in tier 5, that's going to bump it up to 61 to 70. But if that game is on the road, then it drops back down to 50-50. So that's, again, how it works. And you look for the easy wins. Really only one game. I think New Mexico is one where UCLA should absolutely win. They should be favored by a lot. So that's one that, when we do our actual math, that game will be counted as a win. So one game that's pretty much a for sure win. You've got UNLV here. I've got this game in the blue. I think UNLV does drop off from where they were last year. We'll see. New coach there. It's going to be very interesting. A lot of transfers. It's a team that's impossible to predict right now. I believe Alex Orji actually went there. He's probably going to be their starting quarterback. So it's just a team that is very tough to predict. They could wind up being a lot better than this could be more like a 50-50 game. I really don't know. But I usually, when we do these projections, I usually favor the Power 4 teams over the Group of 5 teams. So that maybe ties into this a little bit. I was kind of back and forth on where this one should be because I don't have the Group of 5 teams in my tier ranking. So yeah, maybe this one should be in the purple. It is on the road, but we did go with the blue. And I will say, if I put this game in the purple, I did check. It would not have changed the projected record. So if it had dropped to a 50-50 game, it would have changed the projection. So yeah, keep that in mind. So yeah, those 2 games, non-conference games, UCLA should be favored. Let's go to the other side of this. They're going to be another game. So Maryland is a tier below UCLA, and this game is at home. So that is a game that's in the purple. So that's 3 games that UCLA, I think, will be favored in. But I don't think they'll be big favorites over Maryland. Maybe, about a touchdown favorite in that one. So maybe not even that. Maybe it's more like a 5 or 6 point favorite. But let's go to the other side now. Ohio State's the 1 game. They're a tier 1 team. Plus this game's on the road. That one does come out in the red. So that one, UCLA, we don't really expect them to have much of a chance in this game. A loss more than likely to Ohio State. Then we go to games in the orange. We got Penn State and Indiana. Penn State's a tier 1 team. Indiana a tier 2 team, but Indiana's on the road. That's why they are in the same spot. UCLA probably going to be double-digit underdogs in both of these games. I would say 16, 17 points. Don't really expect them to win those games, but I wouldn't say it's impossible. And then you've got another game here, USC. That one's in the yellow. This is one where UCLA is going to be, I would say, underdogs by about a touchdown, 7 or 8 points. It is on the road. It's against a USC team that is a tier above UCLA. But rivalry game, you never know. All right, so then you've got the rest of the schedule. You've got Utah, Northwestern, Michigan State, Nebraska, and Washington. You've got a bunch of 50-50 games. So Washington and Nebraska, I think they're a tier just above, or maybe Washington's in the same tier as UCLA. Nebraska, I know, is a tier above them. But that's at home for UCLA, so that's going to give them a chance. Northwestern and Michigan State, a tier below UCLA. And those games are those are in the same tier, and those games are on the road. So obviously, if you play a team in the same tier, it's going to be a 50-50 game, and Utah is there as well. So 5 games that really could go either way, which means UCLA could have a really strong season. Even if they lose to Penn State, Indiana, Ohio State, and even USC, if they win the rest of these games or maybe only lose one, they could get to 7-5 or 8-4. It's possible, but on the flip side, they could lose a lot of these games. It could be a really rough season. So it's really going to come down to these games. Utah, Northwestern, Michigan State, Nebraska, Washington, going to come down to those games for UCLA, and really that'll determine the record and the season that they have. But if you average it all out, the projection does come to 6-6. So a bowl game is projected here for UCLA, basically splitting those 50-50 games and getting to a bowl game. They were closer to 5-7 than 6-6. So if that means anything, again, yeah, if we're doing like over-unders here, it's probably 5.5, just because that's close to where this number was. But it does round up to 6-6. So a 6-6 projection for UCLA, which I think would be a pretty successful season for them in 2025.